The world has to find a way to return to the path of a ceasefire and diplomacy in Ukraine, is what the Prime Minister said at the G20 Summit in Bali, invoking the horrors of World War II. G20 leaders are meeting in Bali in the shadow of the Ukraine war. Leaders have discussed energy and food security. During an intervention at the meeting, the Prime Minister focused on ensuring the stability of the energy market, saying it must be ensured that there are no restrictions on energy supply. The Prime Minister met the US President Joe Biden and France's President Emmanuel Macron on the sidelines of the summit, in which the global food crisis, climate change and the Ukraine conflict are high on the agenda. India is set to take over the presidency of the G20, a powerful bloc that represents 85% of the world's GDP and 75% of global trade. It will be hosting the summit next year.
The Prime Minister addressed the Indian community here in Bali on the sidelines of the G20 Summit. There's a sizable Indian origin population across Indonesia, but a lot of them are in fact concentrated in Medan. That has a lot of Indian population whose origins are traced back to Tamil Nadu. In Bali itself, where the Prime Minister today addressed the Indian community, there's a sizable population of Bora Muslims who hail or trace their origin back to Gujarat. So the Prime Minister also mentioned that, saying that he was sure that whether or not anybody would come, the Bora community would come to listen to him. The Prime Minister made certain remarks and statements which directly about how he believes that the country has grown by leaps and bounds after 2014 since he took over, talking about the number of bank accounts that have been opened, the number of national highways that have been created, and the number of free houses that have been constructed. A political speech over here, in some sense, that the Prime Minister made references to Gujarat were not only limited to the Bora Muslim community, but also with regards to him saying that, that their government doesn't think small at all. Everything is thought of as big. The biggest statue has been made by them. The biggest stadium has been constructed by them. So all in all, ranging from talking about the relations between India and Indonesia to the politics, to what his government has done in India, all those aspects included in the meeting with the Indian community.